All right, man, Torture Talk. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good. Good morning, everybody. Look like, do you believe? I look like, Lawrence Fishburne in, The Matrix. Neo. He's the one. I gotta get that like this. Put my hair back. I gotta be a bald head. He's the one. Hey, man. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm glad to see y'all can see my ugly face today. I need to get a shave, all that good stuff. So today's episode, Julian has responded to Rory. Now, yesterday's episode, go check that out. Yesterday morning episode, Rory has said some things about Julian. So Julian has responded, and I'm very curious to see what Julian has said about this. So before we get into that, I got to get my legendary spill. This is Torture Talk. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. If you're new here, let me work on your subscription today. All the beautiful, single, sexy ladies, put one in the chat. All the fellas, y'all know where to find the ones at. Just don't harass them. I don't sell no merch, but I do have content. Absolutely free, but if you want to leave a donation, link is in the description. Cash App. Hey, no more PayPal. They call me the Hidden Gem. I went from 1,300 subscribers to over 15,000. And yes, you're chilling with the King of the North. You know what it is. You know when you memorize something, you be hype. When I was battle rapper, I could write real fast, but it's so hard to memorize this stuff. So a lot of times, like, I'll try to do it so it'll be different ways, and I remember, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. But I know y'all ready for this episode. Let me get it going. I'm sorry. Sometimes I'll be just excited, man. All right, man. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So, so let's get to this episode. All right, man. This comes courtesy of Never Give Up. Love his channel. You know what I'm saying? Even though we don't always agree on everything, but his channel is awesome. And he is a very, very, very good journalist out here. So make sure y'all go subscribe to Never Give Up. All right, so let's get it, man. Let's go.
I just spoke to the guy on his Spaces. We're not friends.
Do I think Joe has done horrible and foul things in his personal and private life? Yes. Can I have a conversation with him in public spaces? Yes.
All right. Now we got Julian responding to Rory going off on him for linking up with the ops. Joseph Buttons. Make sure you like the video and subscribe. Let's get it.
So before he starts, all right. Honestly, I don't see why Rory and them is mad. Julian just seems like he's the type of guy, because I watched his podcast. I watched a little bit of his podcast. He seemed like he's the type of guy that he's very outgoing and outspoken in a way, from what I've seen. And on their podcast, he seems like that as well. So I don't know. I don't know why Rory and Maul, maybe they don't believe this, but maybe they just insinuating this. But maybe, I don't know why they insinuating that that he has to have some type of allegiance to them. You don't have to have any allegiance to nobody. If he got fired or they let him go, he could go wherever he want. What if Joe said, "I'll give you $1 million, come over here"? Roy, you gonna stop that? You gonna say, "No, you shouldn't do that"? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. I don't think Joe would care if somebody was to go over there to talk to y'all. Like, I don't think he would care. If Melissa Ford was to leave Joe and sign up with Rory and Maul, I think Joe would probably be like, "That's great." You know what I'm saying? That's great.
Conversation Joe and I had wasn't salacious or controversial or a big deal at all. I genuinely didn't think that was going to be a moment, because that conversation wasn't a moment. I got fired. I'm an independent person. I'm a grown man. I can move and talk to whomever I want. Everything I said about Joe, what about the DV? Damn, you sided with an abuser? I still feel that way. I'm not taking back anything I said. I did it publicly because I didn't think anything of it. It wasn't a big deal.
Did you request to be on stage?
No, he requested me and I saw it and I just tapped it. I was like, "Oh, what's up?"
Oh, okay. That's a big difference.
Wow.
All right.
I don't view it like that. I'm not committed to either thing. I'm me. I have my own thing. Do I think Joe has done horrible and foul things in his personal and private life? Yes. Can I have a conversation with him in public spaces? Yes.
I don't see this as me being used. I joined the space willingly. I accepted the request to speak willingly. I said everything I wanted to say and left. That's it. I understand like Joe's.
Yeah, I don't understand why people like. You know what? I'm just gonna say this, man. We all got to get out of this tribalism, man. Everybody feels like they have to be a part of a team, or you a op if you don't work with me. You know, we got to stop this, bro. We got to stop this. If you have a problem with somebody, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? But you and Julian wasn't best friends, and y'all fired him. Y'all got rid of him, so he has every right to do whatever he want to do, bro. Every right to do whatever you want to do. You can't be mad at the man because he basically going to chill or talk or whatever he doing with Joe. You can't. Now, listen, I understand if you are a part of gang culture or whatever, and the ops is the ops, but this is podcasting. This is why I said, man, I work by myself. I have people come on as special guests, but I work by myself, baby, because I can't let myself down, baby. I can go wherever I want. The king can move across the board. You know what I'm saying? I can move wherever I want. I could do whatever I want. I don't know if the king can actually do that in chess. I think the queen can, but I don't know. Can king move? I don't know about chess. King move lateral up, like sideways? I don't know. I'm just saying. But I'm just saying, man, I think a lot of y'all be a bunch of man-childs, man. Why is this even a conversation? I don't understand it. Like, why are we talking about Joe and Julian? Because Julian's probably in his 30s, Joe is in his 40s, and Rory's in his 40s. They all acting like men children, man. You know what I'm saying? Like big old men childs. Child, please. You remember your aunt used to say that to your mom? Child, please. Child, what you mean? Why you call my mom a child? I used to get mad when my aunt used to call my mom a child. Child, please. I used to be like, why you call her a child? She's not a child. I'm the child. Child, please. Child, please. Come on.
That is, I get it. He has a rep. He's been doing this much longer. He's more seasoned. He's the pod father. He's been donned all these things. Every time Joe makes a move, every time he says something, he's playing 20 steps ahead. He's the puppeteer of this game. And that may be true in some cases. I'm sure he's definitely done some things that, he's gotten the best of in certain situations and all that stuff. I just don't, maybe I'm the only person that sees this thing as just not a big deal. One can deduce when someone says.
Now, I want to talk about that real quick. So, Joe had a couple of different situations that happened. For some reason, he always comes out on top. Now, I don't pause, but I know I have to say that for some of y'all. But he always comes out on top, right? So you got to think about it. When Joe was the first person outside of cannabis, believe it or not. Cannabis was the very first person that we know of that was really using the internet like that. There's probably somebody before him. I'm not sitting here saying he's the innovator. Don't jump in the comments and say, oh, no, you're wrong, bro. It was this guy, Joe Blow from Alamo. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't jump in the comments and say that, please. For real. You know what I'm saying? But cannabis was the first, let's say, internet rapper that told everybody the internet was going to be something big. Then Joe Buttons came along. You know what I'm saying? Then I believe it was Lupe. But when they ain't talking about rapping, let's forget the rapping. We're talking about podcasting and filming and putting it on YouTube. Joe Buttons. Joe Button TV is the reason why Joe Button is what we call the pod father. You know what I'm saying? I'm the king. He could be the pod father. That's all good. But I'm the king. You know what I'm saying? It's a big difference. But ever since then, we went from Tahiri to what's her name, Caitlin, and then he went to, I believe, Slaughterhouse, then Everyday Struggle, then if I'll name this podcast later, Then the Joe Budden podcast, and I'll name his podcast later. I believe it was Joe and Marissa and Peter Rosenberg, I believe. Then it was Rory and Joe and Marissa. Then Marissa quit, got fired, whatever happened to Marissa. Then it was just Joe and Rory, and Maul was coming in and out. Then it was coming in and out. Pause, sorry. Then it was Rory, Joe, and what's his name? And I believe he's doing Everyday Struggle when he was doing that with them too. And he had a problem with the contract with Slaughterhouse, and they wanted Joe and them to do an album. And Joe was like, "You're not paying us for this album. I'm not rapping unless y'all paying us." You know what I'm saying? I don't care who it is. And they never did finish the next album. Then Joe had a problem with an issue with Everyday Struggle. He didn't have an issue. They wanted to pay them less money, and he was like, "Nah, we want this money." Him and Academics. And then what happened was, him and Academics, they left Everyday Struggle. He came to Joe, and then Joe went to, I believe, he was at Spotify first, and then something happened at Spotify. There's a lot going on with Joe. I could go through the whole history from Amalgam Digital to Def Jam. He had a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? A lot going on. And I'm not going to go through the history. I'm just going to say, so when people say that Joe Buttons is the podfather, he been doing this for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And he was one of the innovators, like, believe it or not. Remember that whole internet soldiers? Y'all remember that? I remember that.
They were fired. You can assume on what terms comes with that. Weird to me that people were like, "How are you going to jump ship?" I was fired. Also, I'm not jumping ship. I just spoke to the guy on a Spaces. We're not friends.
Did you ever approach them and say, "Hey, based on these metrics, I would like more money"?
I did.
Do you think that was a catalyst for what happened
Yes.
to you as far as firing?
Yes.
Okay.
I think people are missing what was just said. You said you asked for more compensation, and that's when this happened.
One of many. It's not the only thing. Sure. Yeah, I'm comfortable saying that. I don't think that's like, is that groundbreaking? Obviously, how I felt is different from how they felt. Maybe there was something.
See, this is what I mean, Rory. You never mentioned that part. You never mentioned. This is what I mean. And what I be saying, what y'all be doing. Rory loves to play word semantics. Now, if this is true, we don't know if this is true. I'm just saying it because for argument's sake. You know what I'm saying? For argument's sake. But he loves to play word semantics. Rory, you never mentioned that. You never said that Julian asked for more money and y'all got rid of him because of that. You know what I'm saying? Never said that.
So I don't know. The contract was month to month. So, under the impression that everyone there's month to month, Peach, Damaris, everybody. So like you're under the impression that, okay, this month, pending, nothing changes. I just go there, submit my invoice at the end of every month. That's how it was run. There was never any paper signed, any contract signed. There was nothing ever signed. Maybe the out of the ordinary thing is there was never anything explicitly signed. Sure, that if that's where people might push back, I can see that. But I didn't feel weird or away about that.
All right, Julian.
Bro, what are you, 12? I'm going to get a shirt made. What are you, 12? Stay away. You know what I'm saying? But how are you out here working for somebody without no contract? And you working for, they're not the biggest podcast, but they're in that area. You know what I'm saying? How you working for them with no contract, bro? What are we doing here? I don't know. Some of y'all have very bad negotiating skills.
You sounding a little fake, bro.
Not negotiating.
It's okay. Just say, I wanted to get some of that Joe Budden clout. That's why you was in that space. You sitting here talking about, why is everybody saying I'm switching sides? And I just had a conversation with Joe. It wasn't that big of a deal. And yeah, I guess it can look a little different if Joe asked him to be on the space and he just clicked it.
No,
but even him,
it can't. It's not a little different. Don't try to minimize what he said. What he said was true. He could do whatever he wants. He's a grown man. You can't say, well, I can understand it. No, bro. What are you into beefing? Like, what are you into this? You into that type of stuff? You like to go back and forth with people? Are you into that? I'm not. I'm saying that I don't feel no type of way that Julian talked to Joe Buttons. Who cares? He doesn't have an issue with Joe. And if they're going to say, if Rory and Maul is going to say, well, you were just clowning Joe a few minutes ago. And it's, Rory, bro, stop the cat, bro. Stop the cat. I'm sure that there's people who you clowned and said things to that you still talk to, bro. Cut it out. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, that's Joe's personal life. You know what I'm saying? He don't even know Joe Buttons, to be honest with you. Y'all should, I wouldn't even, if I'm Rory, I wouldn't even had a conversation about Julian talking to Joe. I'd have been like, he don't know Joe. He didn't grow up with Joe. He didn't do a show with Joe. So what? He could talk to Joe if he want. It doesn't matter if he talks to Joe. You know what I'm saying? Because Joe don't know him. He don't know Joe. I don't care. But y'all trying to hold Julian feet to the fire because he said some things online. So what? Who cares? So what?
Saying, you know, he asked me to be on a space and I just clicked it. Like, I'll just say what's up. But if you felt like Joe has done all of these terrible things, why would you want to be on the same space with him?
Nah,
and when you was in that space,
y'all gotta stop this, bro. You gotta stop, bro. Y'all gotta stop. Y'all have to stop this, bro. That's cat. Stop. There's a lot of people who probably feel people did some horrible thing. He don't know if Joe actually did this. He said, do he believe that? But he don't know if he did it. You know what I'm saying? And if you saying that he never said he hated Joe, but so what? So what he talked to Joe? So what? Oh my God. It's like y'all all caught up in this tribalism shit, man. It's crazy. It's either Xbox or PlayStation. Republican or Democrat. Blood or Crip. Black or white. King or no king. No, I'm joking. Go either way, right? But still in all, I don't agree with that, never. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that. I don't think, so what, he says some things about Joe. He never talked to Joe. Maybe he was misinformed. Do you ever think of that? Maybe he was misinformed. Maybe somebody told him something, and maybe somebody said, you know, Joe really ain't do that, right? That could be possible. It's like y'all don't think about any possibilities when it comes to anything no more. Everybody either just one way or the other way. That's it. No, there's no gray area no more. So you this way or that way. That's it. You this or you that. That's it.
you told Joe all of the stuff you said about him was just jokes and it wasn't that serious.
I think, Joe, I do think I know the fun we poked at each other. I think it's all in good fun.
Now you talking about, I stand on business and I meant everything I said and I didn't take it back. We just spoke. You was in that space sounding like you was doing a little sucking. You sounded like you had a little something on the side of your mouth.
Cut it out, bro. You going a little bit too far now, bro. Cut it out, bro. Cut it out. That's crazy for you to say, bro. You way out of pocket for that. You way out of pocket. That man said some things. He said if he said to Joe that they were poking fun at each other, who are you to say that wasn't what it was? I don't care if he came on here and said something totally different. If he said that, so what? But you way out of line for that, bro. Way out of line. I'm going to end it there. Yeah, man, I disagree with that last part. I disagree. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that Julian was in there like, no, bro. I think that Julian is a podcaster and he's talking to the podfather. Like, you call him the podfather too. Should we say that you were giving him head too? You know what I'm saying? How about you and Drake? You like Drake a lot. Should we say that you do this with Drake? Like, come on, bro. Cut it out. Cut it out. But your argument isn't what we talking about. I'm just saying, I think that Julian, I'm not going to say, he can do whatever you want. You can't just basically tarnish the man or the man because he has a conversation with Joe Buttons, bro. It is what it is. And if he's saying that him and Joe was poking fun at each other, then that's what it was. Maybe he talked to Joe before the spaces. You never know. maybe he talked to him before the spaces. And Joe said, bro, listen, bro, I know. And then, you know, another thing too, we all got to understand. There's one thing I noticed about Joe Buttons. He has thick skin. He don't really take things to heart like that. There's certain people that can get under Joe's skin, but Julian isn't one of them, or Rory and Maul. They're not. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Thank y'all for joining me. 12 o'clock show coming up. I appreciate y'all for being here with me every day. All right. See y'all. Peace. Bye.